Theory is that Jerry Jones appears to be setting up Dak Prescott to fail. Who knows, maybe in hopes of positioning the Cowboys to move up, draft Shedeur Sanders, then hope his father Dion would coach the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry sure hasn't done much to improve Dak's supporting cast. His running game currently features his old buddy Ezekiel Elliott, who was on his last legs last season in New England. And now that Michael Gallup's gone, there's no clear-cut number 2 receiver behind CeeDee Lamb, who, of course, could be a training camp holdout, and who knows, go into the season rusty? It looks like the Cowboys are going to start rookies at 2 key offensive line positions, left tackle and center. In former 4th-round pick Jake Ferguson, he'll give you all he's got at tight end, but he's no Kelsey or Kittle. Dak has to be saying to himself, what are we doing? And obviously, Jerry has yet to give Dak a contract extension. So, Keyshawn, what do you think of the supporting cast Jerry has provided Dak so far this offseason?
I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, Skip. CeeDee Lamb is still there. I'm assuming CeeDee Lamb is going to be there. They're going to get that deal done.
Yep.
If you want the quarterback to look anything remotely close to what he did last year, to give you any hope or opportunity to get to the Super Bowl or even a deep run in the playoffs, they got to get the receiver signed first and foremost. You say, well, they don't have a number 2. Well, Brandon Cooks is there. Brandon Cooks is there 2. Michael Gallup was there 3. There's still opportunities that are out there.
Brandon Cooks, aging Brandon Cooks, a legit number 2?
Still run.
Yeah.
So everything's going to CD.
Yeah.
So if you can lift the coverage and CeeDee Lamb, you could take 2 and CeeDee Lamb could do his work, you're going to get the same production from CeeDee.
You like Jalen Tolbert as a 3?
No, but he made a 3rd receiver only has to beat his man. You getting the 3rd DB, the 4th DB, the 5th DB. You're not getting 1 and 2. So as long as he can do some things, but again, there's other people that's still out there. Training camp is coming. My nephew's still out there. If he's healthy, that's an opportunity to maybe be there for him too.
Michael Thomas.
When you look at it, you say, well, they had Pollard in the lineup last year. Pollard was okay. He was fine.
He was better than okay.
He
before he got hurt in the playoff game at San Francisco, he was really okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking about last season, not 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Last season he was okay. So when you look at the running back, running back position by committee and what the Cowboys want to do, I don't know that Zeke is fried to the point where he can't contribute. The times of a back carrying one team has been over with.
Keyshawn, he's your lead dog.
I understand that, but you telling me if you run the ball 25 times a game and he gets 12 of those carries and everything else is divided up to everyone else.
Rico Dowdle.
His stats last season would not tell you.
Yeah, but you're in New England. You in New England with Mac Jones as your quarterback and a coach that every week was getting ready to get fired. It's a different situation. Ferguson's a nice tight end. They got a nice defense. You wanted them to make some splash plays like Philadelphia or even Washington, and I understand that. But I don't think he's setting Dak up for fail. Why would you purposely sabotage a situation?
Because you just want to get out from under it, start over.
But then trade him.
So just trade him.
Then trade him, I think. And maybe they should have, right?
Yeah.
Look, I don't...
The Dallas Cowboy people, man.
I don't think it's malicious what Jerry Jones has done. I think it's incompetent, right?
Ooh, that's even worse.
This offseason, the biggest moves that the Cowboys made this offseason was not signing any of their top 3 guys, right? So that to me is an incompetent offseason. I don't understand some of the decisions they've made with those contracts because you now have the market set, not just for CeeDee Lamb, because of the other receivers you let sign before your guy, and so now that floor has been raised significantly. You also have a market being set for Dak Prescott, right? We just saw Trevor Lawrence sign a contract, and Dak Prescott is going to want more money than that.
No doubt.
So they are putting themselves in this position, and I understand you want to see what he can do this season, and maybe you elevate Trey Lance, but we just talked earlier in this show about the position the Giants are in at quarterback. This is a quarterback league. If you are in the bottom third of teams with quarterback, in terms of your quarterback play, you will do anything you can to get a good quarterback. You don't think the Giants would want Dak Prescott over Daniel Jones?
Man, half the damn league will want Dak Prescott over
Of
their quarterback.
course. So
Good, they
if
can have him.
if you don't have
Good
faith
luck
in
to you.
Dak Prescott anymore, whether you personally or Jerry Jones doesn't have faith in Dak Prescott,
Trade him.
at least trade him
Trade him.
and
Good.
get
I
back
dare you.
enough to make your team
I dare
better than
anybody
letting
to
him
take
walk in free
Yep.
agency. They're going to take him. If he walks in free agency this summer, he will have suitors.
Skip.
They can't franchise him.
He led the team in
Yeah,
touchdown
blah,
passes.
blah,
he threw
blah.
for 4,500 yards. He completed 70% of his
Did you
passes.
see him at Arizona? Did you see him against
I
San
saw your- I
Francisco
saw
on
your
Sunday
defense. I
night?
saw
Did
your
you see him
defense.
at Buffalo? Did you
I
see
saw-
him at
I saw- I
Miami?
saw your
Did
defense.
you see? Did you see? Did you see?
But I also
Osei,
saw
can you
other
see him against Green Bay in the playoff game, down 27-0 in the first half?
It's only one
Really?
quarterback in this league that's a keeper, and that's Patrick Mahomes. That's it.
No, Joe
No,
Burrow. is-
Joe
No,
Burrow.
everybody, look, there's one quarterback in this league, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Don't tell me about Josh Allen.
I'm telling
don't
you
tell,
about
don't
Joe
tell
Burrow.
me
I'm telling you
about Joe Burrow. All these dudes are the same.
They're
They're not.
They are the same.
Joe Burrow is the
You
same.
think, you
It's the
think
same.
there's 31 equivalent quarterbacks in this league and just one on the other side?
I'm talking about the top tier dudes. Patrick Mahomes sets himself apart.
Okay.
All these Josh Allens and Joe Burrows, Lamar
Lamar
Dax, they
Jackson?
all the same.
They are not the same.
Keyshawn.
None of them won Super Bowls. Okay? I don't want to hear nothing about Joe Burrow got there. Can't stay healthy. Don't tell me nothing about Josh Allen is coming to get Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow,
I'm not
because it ain't
saying
happened.
Joe Burrow's
Don't tell
come
me-
for Patrick
don't
Mahomes
tell me
several
any-
times
gonna
in
say.
playoff games and gotten him.
He got him one time.
No, I got him twice.
No, Joe got him once.
No, I got him twice, and then he lost the third one. He'd already beaten him twice.
In the playoffs?
Yeah, he'd beaten him twice.
I don't remember beating him twice in the playoffs. I only beat him one time at Arrowhead. Check your math. They got him the one time when he went to the Super Bowl. Beat him in the regular season.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when you look at it, all I'm saying to you is you act like, I just don't understand the Dak Prescott hate y'all be
look,
having.
he was number 2 in the league. He finished number 2 in the league in QBR, was an MVP candidate right up until the end
Yeah.
of the season. If I'm the Cowboys, I get the Trey Lance thing, but either make it. What haven't you seen? Look, you've made up your mind about Dak Prescott,
No,
right?
I've seen 2 and
What
5 in the
haven't you
postseason.
seen at this point that you have a question still? Either you think he's good enough, like Keyshawn does,
Yeah.
and you sign him, and by the way, before Trevor Lawrence signs, before other players set the market, or you trade him.
Yeah,
This
that's
situation
fine.
they've gotten
However you
themselves
get out
into,
from
I
under,
don't
you gotta
understand
get out from
it.
under it.
Which is why I would say that
Yeah.
this offseason has
No.
been incompetent for the Cowboys.
Okay, but if you want to go win a Super
Dude,
Bowl,
second
you're
in
not going to
MVP
do
voting.
it. Oh, stop it.
He was second in
Okay.
MVP voting.
Did you see the home playoff game against Jimmy G when we were favored to win the game and Dak didn't show up? Did you watch it?
Dak
Did you-
Prescott has struggled in the playoffs, no
Struggled
question about
is
it.
an
Skip.
understatement.
He struggled in the playoffs.
Did you see the game at San Francisco
I saw
when
them
my
all. I
defense
saw them all.
showed
I
up?
saw him- I
My
saw him beat
defense
Green Bay, but didn't
showed
beat
up.
Green Bay.
My defense showed way up and held Brock Purdy and that explosive offense to 19 points at home. We should have scored 20 or 21, and we scored 12. Dak missed 5 or 6 wide open throws. I've shown them here on the show again and again. They're just wide open. He just missed them. Not good enough. If you want to go to Super Bowls, you go with Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman. I've seen it. I've seen Dandy Don Meredith take them to the championship game.
Like Rick
I've seen
Pitino
it.
said, they're not walking through the door, man.
Yeah, well, they're.
You need to
Okay.
you need to
But
stop living in the 80s,
It's
in the
30
70s.
30 years since we've been to an NFC championship game. It's time to go get somebody who's better than a 4th-round pick that you lucked into, who's been pretty good until it mattered. That's what happens, till it mattered.
I would be concerned about more than Dak if
Yeah.
I were you. Look, by the
Sure.
way, the Cowboys, I think, are still a top 3rd team in the league. I would not put them at the top of the NFC. I think that even behind San Francisco, you've got the Lions there, you've got some
The
other
Lions,
teams
Green
in the
Bay,
mix.
yeah,
Right,
San Francisco.
absolutely. However, so I don't want to say it's all doom and gloom. Like, let's not pretend that. But when you're playing for Super Bowls, right, when you're talking about the elitist of the elite,
Yep.
I'm not just concerned about, okay, is Dak good enough to win a Super Bowl? I do think that they should re-sign him, but I understand that question. They lost, not only as we've been talking about, their starting running back, 2 starting offensive linemen, their starting nose tackle, their starting linebacker, their starting cornerback, their starting safety. That's half a dozen of their starters
I totally
plus
agree. That's
that have
why
walked
I
out
say,
the door.
and Jerry said, I'm all in. No, you're all out.
I would hate to
You're
see what all out looks
Help
like.
me out.
Yeah.
Because if you're seriously going to start Tyler Guyton and Connor Beebe at left tackle and center as raw rookies, and Terrence Steele did not grade out well last year as the right tackle that you already paid, then I don't know. You got a Hall of Fame left guard in Tyler Smith. I think he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and obviously you have an aging Hall of Famer at right guard, and he's a slam dunk first ballot.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point is, Tyler Guyton and Connor Beebe, I don't know, man. I mean, Dak's got to be saying, I don't know.
The history of the Dallas Cowboys that you will never convince me they don't know about is the offensive line. That is the one position that they always get right.
You mean in history or just
in general?
In the Jerry regime.
In the let's say Jerry regime. They always got the offensive line right. Always. Think about it. They always get it right.
Okay, but
So
when
no
you go
panic sets in.
rookie at the two most important positions, I don't know, man.
Well, they're going to have at least they're going to have a learning
It's
curve.
all about the offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator setting the line to protect those guys. That's
Sure.
all it is.
No.
It's all about the protection.
Okay, but you can either do it or you can't. And I've
Well,
seen...
when you're young and they need help, Skip, you give them the help.
Okay, but I've seen the Chaz Green's backup left tackle come in and just get annihilated one day at Atlanta when Dak went down, I think it was 8 times.
But
Okay,
that's a backup.
Okay, I understand, but Tyler Guyton right now is probably the equivalent of a backup. I know him. I watched him at Oklahoma, and he is a raw project, and they're projecting him as the left tackle. They may have to slide Tyler Smith over and just let him play left tackle.
Maybe they do that.
And they've also talked about a combination of both,
They
right?
have.
And regardless of whether the O-line is something the Cowboys know about, when you have those young players starting out the season, there will be a learning curve. Even if they end up being good in the end, there will be a learning curve. You cannot tell me that it doesn't matter. That you have lost
it
some
matters,
of that experience
but you also
and protection.
can protect them. You can protect them. You can slide the line, protection calls, so where the offensive line, they're not out there on an island exposed.
Yes.
You can bring the chips there. You can slide the tight end across. There's things they can do.
But you're giving up other things if you do that. It's always a Peter Paul situation, right?
Of course, but that's part
It
of...
would be better if you didn't have to.
But you always do. Even when you got Hall of Famers over there, you got to protect somebody on the offensive line.
Well, yeah. But you'd like to protect fewer.
Yeah, but damn that line. I'm just puzzled at skipping this Dak stuff, man.
Okay, well, listen, if it's true, the old cliche that a quarterback is only as good as his running game, Dak's not going to be very good because that's not very good right now. I don't care what you say. And
I don't think they have any splash running backs.
Derrick Henry is sitting there. He's got a home in Dallas, and Baltimore got him for just a flat $10 million. That's all, $10 million guaranteed, 1 year, one-shot deal. Do it. If you told me we had Derrick Henry right now, I'd say Dak will have a really good year because that's going to take some pressure off. I think he's got a lot of football left in him.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. But again, it's like any sport, though, Skip. He has to fit what they want to do. You say, well, it's a running back. It's a running game. Yeah. Well, they don't run the ball like Baltimore. They just don't. You got a $50+ million quarterback.
What? They did with young Zeke for 3 years. They did.
Yeah, but Zeke is a different style running back than Derrick Henry. It's different. Zeke can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Well, he can,
all of those things are important.
You don't think Zeke was a banger those first 3 years?
Yes, but Derrick is different. He's just a different style running back. That's all. He's a straight downhill dude. Give it to him and get out of the way. That doesn't lend itself to what Mike McCarthy wants to do in the offense. It just doesn't. And you got to catch the ball out of the backfield, Skip.
Well, I'm hoping this is the last year for Mike McCarthy. So that's a whole nother issue, right? So I don't really care what his philosophy is because it's not going to last in Dallas.
You know who is sticking around?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones is sticking around. He'll be there. God bless him. I'm knocking on wood for him. He'll be there. And maybe a year from now, could you see Dion in Dallas?
Well, I mean, he's going to have his opportunity in a lot of places.
He will.
If they win in Colorado.
That is a fact. Okay, back to the NBA.